Hello everyone and a very warm welcome to another episode in Microsoft VATSIM 2024. So today we are here at the lovely Edinburgh airport, going over to the lovely Heathrow. So we're just waiting for everything to update. So we're going to do a flight today, like I say, from Edinburgh to Heathrow. We are on the VATSIM network as well, and we're going to talk you through step by step from startup to shutdown is the plan. So we're just monitoring outside at the minute. We'll jump in the flight deck and then we'll start to get ourselves set up for our flight. So it's only a short flight, about an hour long. It'll probably take, well, probably about an hour 45 at the time that we've taxied out to stand and gained our clearance. So let's just jump into the flight deck and we'll go from there. So our call sign this evening is Speedbird 97. So I've done a couple of bits. All I've done really, we've connected the external power and we've enabled the emergency exit lights. The reason being, that way we can get passengers boarding while we talk you through the process. So the way to get passengers boarded, for those of you that haven't been on the Phoenix, so head over to the tablet, click on the Phoenix hub, then we need to import our flight plan, which is all there. Head over to mass and balance, load aircraft, and then we're using GSX. So we want boarding and refueling. We've got 97 passengers.
Yeah, Delta 1, runway 24, clear takeoff, southwest wind 240 degrees.
Just turn them down a little bit. So a way to turn down the ATC audio is by turning down the VHF1. That does the trick there. So we don't need to touch that for the minute. One thing we will do is we'll have a look at the briefing for today's flight. So this is the operational flight plan from SimBrief. For those of you that don't know, SimBrief is an application that plans all your routes, and it also allows you to submit it and pre-file it to VATSIM as well. So there is videos on YouTube there. If you want to check them out, feel free. So I thought we would take you through step by step how to sort of review the flight plan and go from there. A few different angles today with tonight's flight. We've changed the camera a little bit. Those of you that have been before, you may notice. So along the top here, this is our operational flight plan. Speedbird 97 is our call sign here along the top. You can see that the type of aircraft using the Phoenix A319 IA engines, and then there is a tail number there. That doesn't match the tail number for the actual aircraft, unfortunately. Just see obviously, if anyone's got any questions on the way through, feel free to obviously raise them, and we'll go from there. So moving down, so this is our weight section here. So this is all to do with weight. So this is our overall payload, zero fuel weight, our overall fuel, takeoff weight, and it also tells you what the maximum takeoff weight was. This is our trip fuel, so 2.1 tons is trip fuel, and our landing weight is 54 tons, and we have a max landing weight of 62 tons, so well under the maximum landing weight. And then unloads or spare load is 7.3 tons there. So these are the times, these are the blocks on and off times. If you want to follow them, you can do. You can also print the PDF version if you wish. So over here is the company route. It won't be popped into the sim, unfortunately, so some airlines allow you to pop that in directly. This one doesn't do it at the moment. As you see, our flight number, that is also our call sign, Speedbird 97. Cost index, which is how efficient our flight is today, is 6. So the lower number, the better. Cruise level 350, so that's our flight level 350, so that's our cruise altitude, and our cruise temperature is minus 57. As you can see, zero fuel weight is 51.1. It's mirrored over the other side here as well, but it just gives you a quick breakdown. And then the trip wind, so this tells you if you've got a headwind or a tailwind. So if it's a H, it's a headwind. If it's a T, it's a tailwind. So we've got a tailwind of 21 knots. Let's just move further down a touch, and as you can see, this is our operational flight plan route. So this is the actual route that the aircraft will follow. So what we want to do, so we can see that runway 24 is in use at the moment, and this is the SID, the Go Sam 1 Charlie SID, which we'll go into it a little bit more, via the P600 to Fenwick, L612, which is another airway. Basically these are different waypoints all the way down, and then what we're interested in is what we're using on landing. So after runway 09 right, and it's the Nugra 2 Hotel Arrival Star. You can pop the ATC in here, but we tend to do that as we go. Further down, this is your total fuel, so that's the number you want to see pretty much. So 5.3 tons of fuel is what we want to see on the ECAM display once refueling is commenced. And to be fair, that's about it from this basic point of view. I'm just going to talk very basically for you guys, if you're not aware of what's going on, what's to be expected. Obviously, if you've got any questions, feel free to pop them in. So the other thing we can quickly look at is the airport weather. So there's a tab of airport weather. So first of all, it shows you destination weather, where we won't worry about that just yet. We'll look at our Edinburgh weather. So we've got an alternate today of Manchester Airport, so if we need to divert, we'll divert into Manchester. So Edinburgh, currently the wind is 260 degrees at 3 knots, broken at 3,300 feet. Temperature is 10 degrees Celsius, the dew point is 0.7, so we're not near any fog at the minute. QNH 1028, which is important. And it talks about all the clouds. The visibility is 999, which is basically 10,000 metres or more. A few clouds scattered at 3,000 feet, and this tells you what it's probably going to turn into as well. So there you go. That's the basics really of looking at the flight plan. So let's start off with the overhead. This is always where you start off when you start your flight. One, because your ideas need to align, which takes 7 minutes generally speaking. So on the left hand side here, we want to go into the crew supply. We want to turn that off, or turn it on, should I say, so there's nothing visible. The Airbus basically has a completely blank light, so you want you don't want to see any white lights on the overhead really. So ground control will enable that, and I'll go blue for the time being, and then we'll just test the cockpit voice recorder and wait for a beep. As you can just hear there. Don't need to touch any of these up here. Make sure there's no faults on the flight control system. So we've got ideas 1, 3 and 2. So we're going to go over to nav on 1, then to 2, and then 3 at last. And it'll say it's on battery, and in a minute you'll see that it will take 7 minutes to align. Next thing we want to do, we've already done it, is to arm the emergency exit lights. We left the seatbelt signs off. That is because we are refueling. We'll have a look to see. Oh, we've already refueled actually. While we've been talking, we've already refueled. So seatbelt signs can come on. I've got a shortcut for that. One thing we can do is turn on the navigation and logo lights, and typically we don't need to touch any of these lights for now until we start pushing back from stand. But the navigation lights are your wing lights, as you can see on the edge here, your red and green lights. Moving further up, so we don't need to touch anything with the anti-ice tonight. Pack flow, we don't need to touch this for the time being. Electricals, fine, because we're on external power, which I've already enabled. Make sure both batteries are switched on. And moving further forward, cheers for the follow, is our fuel panel. So we want to enable all the fuel pumps that are in white. So we've got no white lights there. And next thing to do is just do a quick APU fire test first, which you can hear by the horrible scream. Then we'll do engine 1, engine 2. So if you're wondering where the PA announcements are coming from, if you can't get them, this is basically due to the PA. So if you want it to play in your headset, you lift it up. If you don't want, you will hear it because it's bleeding through from the cabin behind us. So if we shut that now, that will now disappear for the time being. So on the right hand side, there's only one thing that we need to check, or we need to do, is so we can do a cargo fire test. I'm not going to personally, but you can do if you wish to. And the cargo ventilation, so if you're not got animals, you can turn this to off. That's the only exception of the white light rule. One thing you may do if you decide to do a single engine taxi is to turn on the electric pump on the hydraulics, which is enables like the PTO stuff. So that's that all done. Next thing really to move down to, you could do a quick TCAS, not TCAS, sorry, GPWS, which is the ground proximity warning system, and that will just run through this quick test while we're waiting. Next thing to do, so we don't need to touch anything down here. I particularly will just quickly set up the rest of the aircraft, which is a couple of switches really. So make sure the GCS is on auto, multi-scan is on auto, predictive wind shear system, which is PWS, onto auto, and then we're going to use system 1 for our weather. That's not going to show yet until 7 minutes post alignment. Next thing to do is to turn our transponder on, so we'll turn that all the way on, and then we'll just go into TA mode for the time being. I tend to clear the code just so it's there ready to be inserted for our departure. So we are already connected to the VHF 1 frequency for Edinburgh Tower, which is 118705. One thing we could do, because approach is also online, so we could tune that while we're talking really, which is 121205. So we could just quickly tune that. I do this on my panel, it doesn't update straight away, but it only updates once you press the button. But if we get it in there, it's just one last thing to do. Cheers for the follow, Marcus. So once that's in, next thing we need to head down to is our MCDU. So This is the heart of the aircraft, really. So what we want to do, you'll see from both screens. So we want to go onto the init page. So press init, and then we want to go init request, and this will drag everything down from SimBrief, presuming SimBrief is linked within the settings of the tablet that's on the left hand side. So we're going to put our call sign in to the flight number, which is BAW97, also known as Speedbird 97. As we said, our cost index today is 6, and we've got a cruise level of 350. The only thing that's different is our cruise temperature is actually minus, so we do a / and then we'll do a -57, and I'll just update that there. The Trapo, which was on that bit of the plan as well, was 38214. I've got it up on using Volanta, so that also displays that. Current ground temperature is 10 degrees Celsius, we know that. And the wind, we could actually put the wind in, which was 230 degrees at 3 knots. And then what you need to do is put an extra / for the altitude, and then put 0, and that'll put a ground level. So back to the init page, and we want to hit the next arrow here. So hit the next arrow, and then we are looking at our block. So that is the block fuel. So your total fuel, which we understood was 5.3 tons. So we put 5.3 in that box. We can also verify that here. Look, 5.3 there. Our zero fuel weight as well, so passengers are going to be waiting a little while just while we're getting set up. Zero fuel weight is 51.1. And if you want to get the CG, or the centre of gravity, there's a way of doing that, and we can cheat really. So if we go to departure performance, and we sync the load sheet, so that's 27.6, and that's what our CG is going to be today, 27.6, and that will pop that in the box. Then it will calculate the takeoff weights. The only one last thing we need to do in a minute, if it allows, it doesn't always allow you to insert it. Once it's done some calculations, it allows you to insert the trip wind, but we'll go back to that in a minute. That is that T21 that we need to insert. It's not available to insert at the minute. So we've got an extra 28 minutes of fuel, if required, on top of our alternate. Next we're going to head to our flight plan page, and as you can see, Echo Golf Papa Hotel, which is Edinburgh, and we're expecting departure runway 24, and we're using the Go Sam 1 Charlie departure SID. So we're going to insert that onto there, and that's all done. Next thing to do, so this will actually put in the whole flight plan that we talked through. Just double check it against it. 9 times out of 10 it'll be absolutely fine. Next thing I want to do is to head to EGLL arrival. And what runway did we say was in use? It was 09 left we're expecting. That could change, but we could change it during the flight as well. And it's the Nugra to hotel departure. So Nugra to hotel. And one thing we could consider doing is having a quick look if there's any vias. So what we're going to have a quick look at, so this is where Navigraph comes in very handy, so it's certainly worth a subscription to Navigraph, and to be fair, for SimBrief you pretty much need Navigraph. So if we go into the Navigraph charts tab on here, you have to make sure you're all signed in and everything, and it's actually already updated. So we're going to go into here, and we don't actually know what route it is, so we're going to look at the Nugra 2 Hotel. So let's just turn this on to day charts for the time being. Hey buddy, how are we doing? Hope you're well. So if we have a quick look, so Nugra, let's follow this in. We will have a look at this in a bit more detail shortly. So what we'll need to do is see if there is a holding pattern, which is going to be Bovingdon, if there is any hold pattern. So what we're going to do is we're going to do via Bovingdon. So if we head back over here, and we're going to go to the via page, and hopefully Bovingdon, which is identified as BNN, we'll insert that on here. Quick return and insert. And that's the flight plan all done. Next thing we need to look at is our departure performance. So this is our V1 speeds, VR and V2 speeds, and also what flaps use for departure. One really handy tip. Oh, hello, sorry about that. Excuse me, my mouse has just gone absolutely crazy. There we go, right. So next thing what we need to consider doing is we want to head over to our departure performance. So we can, like I say, we can cheat and do this. We can sync the load sheet, we can sync the weather as well, and we can click the calculate button. So this is our V speeds, it's calculated itself. 129, 129, 133, flaps 1 up 0.8, transition to 6,000, it's actually 7,500. The way you check that is by checking the ATC on the VATSIM application you use, which I use vPilot, so I'm sure it's 7,500, our transition 70, so 7,000. What we can do is we can click send to MCDU, and that will just save us a few minutes there. And that is there. The only thing I'm going to change is I'm going to change 7,000. I don't know why I'm doing it on the screen. I've got the panel there, but there we go. And we're expecting flaps 1 and up 0.8 is our trim configuration. So that is everything pretty much all set up. One thing we need to do now is we need to speak to Tower and just get our clearance. So that's the most important thing you need to do. So we've got 9 minutes till departure. One thing we're going to do is we're going to get the APU on and running. That takes a few minutes to start. So what we do is we want APU master on, wait a couple of seconds, followed by the APU start button, and then once that's started we will also enable APU bleed, but we'll just give it a few minutes to start. So initial climb is 6,000 feet, and the way we know our initial climb is 6,000, so if we go to the charts, in the UK we go straight to the charts. We don't, like in the US they get given an initial flight level, so we look at the GoSam 1 Charlie, GoSam 1 Charlie, GoSam is 6,000, so that's what we know our restriction is. Initial climb restriction, so 6,000 feet, that's all in the box and ready. Just like I say, just getting the APU running as we speak. Everything is up to date on here. Obviously you can change all the views, but we'll go through that, you'll get the gist of that as we go. So let's have a chat with ATC. So what we need to do first is, yes, we are on VATSIM, buddy. So what we need to do is get our clearance. So the way of doing that, there's a few things that I've done a whole video on this on YouTube, to be fair. But what you need to do, so to request a clearance, it's very simple really. All you do, so they want to know who you are, so what your pulse on is. So I'm going to say Edinburgh Tower, good evening, this is Speedbird 97 on stand number 2, I think it's 2, don't think 1, 2 alpha, yes, gate 2, yes, on stand 2, requesting IFR clearance to Heathrow as filed. Hey Baz, how are we doing, mate? So we'll get our clearance and we'll go from there, and we'll speak to Edinburgh Tower. One thing we could do before that is just do a quick radio check, but to be fair I'm pretty confident the radio is going to be fine. We'll enable APU bleed as well once the APU started, which it already is. And we can now disconnect external power as well. So we'll have a quick chat with Tower. Edinburgh Tower, good evening, Speedbird 97 on stand 2, requesting IFR to Heathrow and Airbus A319. That's a bit rusty. Oh, I can't hear him.
Sun 1 Charlie departure. Squawk 0502. Information Oscar is current.
So clear to Heathrow, GoSam 1 Charlie departure, and squawking 5052. Information Oscar. Let's be a bit nicer.
3897, just check the squawk is 0502.
Apologies, 0502. It's a bit nicer.
Read that correct.
There we go. We all get it wrong. 0502. There we go. So that's the transponder code in. Apologies, I didn't turn it. It was turned quite far down. So you need to make sure that is enabled and pulled out. Same with the PA announcements and everything. So what we'll do now is we'll run the first checklist really, which is your cockpit prep checklist. So gear pentacles removed. Fuel quantity is 5.3 tons. So we're checking to make sure that's against the flight plan, which is correct. Seat belts are all on, and ADIRs are set to nav, so your ADIRs are all up here, and they're all in the nav position. And the BARF 1028, so we're just going to double check information Oscar and just double check the QNH on here as well. So yeah, 1028, which is absolutely fine. Next thing we can move to the next checklist really, which is the before start checklist. We'll make sure the parking brake is set, which it is. It's not set. I want to know the takeoff speeds and thrust, which is 129, 129, 133 on the thrust flex of 80. And windows and doors closed, so we can see all the windows and doors are closed, signified by this. And the beacon is now on. I've not turned it on yet. And you'll notice the slides are now arm, and the stairs and everything will, sorry, not the stairs, the jetway will disappear. So one thing we can do, we'll just let this all disappear, and we'll get ourselves pushed back for the stand. How are we doing there, Barry? You okay, mate? So next thing to do really before we push back is to bring up our charts on our ground chart. So we go to Edinburgh Star and then just into the normal ground charts just so we know where we're going. There is a better way of doing this actually, rather than doing that, is you can just zoom straight into the big map. It gives you a lot better view of the airport as well. So then next thing really is to request our clearance 4 minutes before departure. So we're basically going to ask for our push and start clearance. So the tug is already connected, we can see it's connected there, and basically he's waiting our instruction. That's pretty much what's going on at the minute. Edinburgh Tower, speedbird 97, ready for push and start, stand 2.
Speedbird 97, stand 2, push and start approved.
Push start approved, stand 2. Speedbird 97. Speedbird channels.
Recross Speedbird 97, your push and start is approved, the QNH is 1028.
Start approved, QNH 1028, speedbird 97. There's Channix and Easy and all sorts. That's the problem using different aircraft types where you get a little bit muddled up. So everything's all connected, everything's ready to go. So basically we need to tell the ground controller where we're going. So open GSX up, onto the continue pushback tab, and then we want to be facing north on Echo, and because it's the only way you can go from this position.
Release parking brakes, please.
Brakes release, clear to push.
Commencing push. All engines clear. Start at will.
Start sequence 1 and 2, so we're going to start number 1 first. Oh, bless you. I know as well as I might. You had a good shift. So, we started engine 1 and that's it pretty much. We're just now waiting for everything else. One thing we are going to do, because it's night time, is I'm going to enable the wing lights.
Welcome on board, everyone. All customers have now boarded, and we're about to brief you on the safety procedures of this Airbus A319. We ask that you remove your personal headphones until the end of the briefing. Portable electronic devices may be used during the flight as long as they are in flight safe mode. Unfortunately, Wi-Fi services will not be available on our flight today. Please complete any emails or messages you wish to send now before putting your devices in flight safe mode. You can use handheld devices such as mobile phones.
So, engine 1 is pretty much started. We'll see in a minute when it says available next to it. Any second now. And normally as soon as you hear that big clunk, that's usually an indicator that it's started, to be fair. So, let's start engine 2. And whilst that's doing its thing, we can set this to 0.8 up. Somewhere. We're going to enable the spoilers and we're going to move flaps 1.
Features of this aircraft. Your attention is essential as these may differ from any aircraft you've flown before. Please study the safety card in your seat area as it includes important safety.
It's a really cool ATC tower, Edinburgh, to be fair. Okay, so it's clear to disconnect. So they won't disconnect straight away, not until this second engine started. That's pretty much how it's set up. Have you had a good day then, Buzzer?
Pointed out to you now. Please take a moment to locate your nearest exit, bearing in mind this may be behind you. Opening the doors automatically inflates the evacuation slides. High-heeled shoes must be taken off as they may tear the slide.
So, once that says available, there you go, so he knows it's started.
Remember the seatbelt signs are on, and it is fastened
So they'll get themselves disconnected.
and opened.
I'm just waiting for the second engine to start. Once that's started, then we can... After start is pretty much once that's completed, which it is about now. Is,
Tow truck disconnected. Bypass pin removed.
so it says available. We can now
Left is clear. Right is
turn the
clear.
ignition switch to normal, and the APU bleed and APU can come off.
Putting on an oxygen mask. Stay in your seat and pull the oxygen mask towards you.
So next thing is the after start checklist, which is fairly straightforward. So anti-ice not required, ECAM status is checked, but it's not checked at the minute because we've got to do a couple of things. So we need to make sure, so we need to enable takeoff config. It's going to say there's an error there. Auto brake needs to be set to max and the cabin's not ready yet. That's quite normal for the cabin not to be ready at that time. Next thing we want to do is move to the flight control page, and we want to make sure we've got a picture of 0.8 up, which is what's set. And next thing is for a flight control check. So we'll pull up. So full up, and we're checking the middle ECAM to make sure that action's complete. Full left, full right, neutral, rudder, full left, full right, neutral. So that's all done. So everything's disconnected and we're pretty much ready to go. Basically, the next thing is to request our taxi clearance. So we can have a quick look at the taxi routing just to see what it's going to likely to be. So if you're not sure, have a quick look before you request it. So it turns out it's going to be Delta 1 for departure because we're runway 24, and we're on Echo, so it's probably going to be runway 24, Delta 1, Echo and Alpha. So basically all the way down to the bottom, turn right and all the way to the end. That's straightforward. Oh, bless you, mate. Bless you, Basil, mate. Oh, that's no good. There we go. It's no surprise there, mate, is it? So let's request our taxi clearance. Edinburgh Tower, speedbird 97 is ready for taxi.
Speedbird 97, taxi via Echo 1, hold at Delta 1.
Echo 1, hold at Delta 1. Yeah, speedbird 97. So, as we expected pretty much, it's been pretty good, mate. Had my skis today, they're all done and dusted now, so hopefully I've passed them a find out on Friday or tomorrow. So, so taxi lights can come on and release the brake and we'll start pushing ourselves away from the start. Yeah, hopefully, mate, hopefully I smashed it. We learned a few things tonight, Baz, because I'm talking through it a little bit more than usual. So then we pretty much follow the routing out. Goes off like a rocket, this plane does. So we'll just double check on the left side, make sure it's which it is. To the left, just do a quick brake check. So we can, in a second, we can do the taxi checklist. Just get ourselves in a straight line and go from there. Alright then. So taxi checklist, flight controls have been checked. Flap setting, config 1 plus F. Radar predicted wind system on an auto ECAM. Sorry, engine mode selector is normal. ECAM memo is takeoff no blue. We've got nothing blue on the ECAM monitor. Chances are it's probably going to be. So. Wonderful. So cabin secure, we'll move back to gate check 1. That's that all done. So we don't want to exceed 30 knots taxi speed, and typically with the 319 about 8 knots or so, 8 to 10 knots for turning. So we're going to be pretty much straight out departure in a second. So takeoff almost 24.
Speedbird 97 via Delta 1, runway 24, clear takeoff. The surface wind 240 degrees at 6 knots.
Right, Delta 1 clear for takeoff, speedbird 97. So then, lineup checklist. Takeoff runway confirm, runway 24, TCAS, TAR8 and PAX 1 and 2 are both on. So sometimes you'll have a packed off departure depending how, basically how short the runway. If it's a really short runway or if it's a really hot day, you will use more. You use more runway basically, so the air conditioning goes off for a short period just during takeoff and then it gets re-enabled again. So let's just bring the nose round. So we'll have the landing lights on now. Give them a couple of seconds to kick in properly.
Given 8647. Heathrow ground delay stand 7. Sorry. Edinburgh Tower. Hello. Pressure start approved. Straight pushback.
So we'll just slow ourselves down nicely here. And we'll just try and get ourselves lined up nicely. So pretty much that screw in the middle between the two screens is the centre of the aircraft. That is pretty much the midpoint. So if you get somewhere along there, so you can do a full stop and then take off, or you can do a rolling takeoff. So we're going to do a rolling takeoff. So initially we go 40% N1 power, which you can see just there on the N1. So that seems stable, and then we'll move forward to the flex setting. So Manflex 80 SRS runway auto thrust blue. Thrust set. They're just small adjustments for the rudder. Keep the nose in the middle. 100 knots. Change to the follow. V1. Rotate. Positive climb go. Nav. So now we follow the flight director all the way up to the 6,000 mark. Typically about 2,000 feet, and then we'll pop the autopilot on. But it depends on how busy your workload is. If your workload is quite busy, if ATC are asking you to do certain things. So next thing we're looking for the climb feature. So on the left hand side flight display is going to flash climb. So now we bring it back to the climb setting. As you can see, it now says thrust climb climb.
397 contact Edinburgh radar 121.205. Bye bye.
121.205. Have a good evening. Speed 97. Bye. Better radar, good evening, Speedbird 97, passing 2000.
97, good evening to you, Edinburgh radar, climb now, flight level 140.
Climb now, flight level 140, Speedbird 97. So now we've popped the autopilot on, we want to go 140, so we've selected 40,000, and then we're going to pull back for open climb, and it's displayed there on the left hand side display. It says open climb. So now we'll basically override flight management computer. So we're going to retract the flaps now as well to flap 0. And there we go. We're up in the air and gone. Barry's thinking, gosh, he knows a lot. Unfortunately. So we'll just track where we are. Surprised you still watch it, Basil, to be fair. So next thing now really is to, once we get above 10,000 feet, then we can turn the landing lights off. So you can actually retract them, but we will stay with them on for the time being. Like I say, it's night time, so you can't see a great deal, to be fair. It's pretty mundane at times. I don't know who chose this guy's name for the announcements. Could have thought of a better name. So QNH is now flashing, which means we are past 7,000 feet. So we're going to pull back, and standard pressure is set on the ethos here. And also the ground spoilers can be disarmed at this point as well. So we just pop that down. That's sorted. So we've got a bit of a view over Glasgow direction. So approaching 10,000 feet now, and then we'll get rid of the landing lights, and we can release the cabin at this point as well. Let's see what sides we've got. So landing lights off, and we'll release the cabin as well. So we're going to make a left-hand turn shortly. He's going to hand us over, well, he's not going to hand over 21, so we're going to go over to Unicorn shortly. So we can get that tuned in. So we want to tune 122.8, which is advisory. No, Basil, it's not me, it's actually people. The actual air traffic control is proper air traffic control. It runs on like a separate Oh, that's right. So it basically runs on a different application. So basically, I'm kind of playing single player, but the extra software generates the other traffic as well. But it's pretty accurate, to be fair. Really, really accurate. Hope that answers that. So at flight level 140, any minute now he's going to hand us over. Probably once we get to GoSam, he'll probably hand us over.
Cuba 97, nothing further, monitor Unicom 122.8. Good evening.
Over to Unicom 122.8, speedbit 97. Have a good evening, yourself, bye. So we'll just move over to 122.8. Don't need to say anything else on frequency for now. There's not really a lot of traffic about this evening either, so there we go. Yeah, it's quite good, to be fair. I have actually previously applied for being air traffic controller, but it's a really, really structured process, to be fair, and it can take you months to actually get an assignment made, to be fair. Excuse me, coughing. So we're at flight level, well, we're at 1,400, so we could now just climb to our cruise altitude of 35,000. So we could just go open climb 350, and we'll just continue that climb now. Oh, hello. Obviously, if anyone's got any questions in the meantime, one thing I'm going to do though is we're going to turn some of these lighting down. So we want that into night mode. We're going to make the cabin into night mode as well. Nothing worse than the cabin being like super bright. So put it normally on 25 for the evening. I don't think, have we got passengers on today? I don't know why, for some reason GSX, since it's been updated, it doesn't, the passengers aren't actually there, which is a little bit annoying. They board and then they disappear, which is rather frustrating. Any other questions, Basil? Oh, hello. YouTube, apologies, I'm not really focusing on TikTok, not so much on YouTube. Hey, Mathis, how are we doing, mate? No, from France, wonderful. Well, one thing recently I've noticed we're getting quite a lot of people from sort of different places, to be fair. I think the furthest place is Australia. There's a good chap that follows us quite regularly on YouTube. But generally speaking, it's like early morning for him when I fly, so he'd probably be at work, I guess. So now it's pretty much just follow the flight. Like I say, if anyone's got any questions, feel free to ask them. One thing I didn't do that I should have done was activate the clock, really, but I thought it did do it after we departed through there. Flight time wise, so we've got 310 miles, and at 10:01 we should be on the ground. It's the current time, so if you have a look down here, it gives you your ETA at the bottom there, so it tells you how many miles, and it tells you your ETA, but that is at UTC time, so that is an hour behind. Next thing we can really do is start having a look at our sort of arrival, really. It's a short flight. So one way to do the weather, there's a couple of ways you can do the weather. So you can either head over to the tablet, hit the arrival tab, and it will give you the meta, or if ATC are online, you have an extra option for VATSIM as well, and that will give you the more detailed version. The proper way of doing it though is to head over to MCD. You want to go to the MCD menu, ATC menu, the AOC menu, and then where it says ATIS there, that's what we want to select. Pop the airport code in, so EGLL for Heathrow, and then arrival, and then hit the send button. So this is the first time we've actually flown into Heathrow. So we departed from Heathrow the other day. I've never flown into Heathrow, so it'll be interesting to see how that goes. Typically you tend to have to hold at Heathrow a little bit for arrival, but we'll see how we get on. Go from there. So once we've inserted that and click send, it will just go back to this page. What you want to do is head to receive messages and ATIS. So let's decode this a little bit. So there's 4 pages dictated at the top. So this is Heathrow information, Delta, 1950 Zulu, so that would have been at 2050. So we're expecting runway 9 left for departure. So that's interesting. The fact that says there runway 09 left departure, and it says runway 09 right transition, I would hazard a guess. Oh no, apologies. Arrival runway 09 left, departure runway 09 right, transition level 70. Talks about data link clearances. We don't need to worry about that. The current wind there is 0504 knots. Good visibility at 10 kilometres. Temperature is 14 degrees Celsius. The QNH is 1027. So that becomes relevant in a minute when we start putting our landing points. So what I normally do is use the other FMC on his side. Pop the information there for that. Head to the menu page on here and hit the performance page. Go all the way through the phases, so that's cruise, that's descent, and then you want the approach page. So it's asking for the QNH for Heathrow, which is 1017. Temperature is, just so I can what the temperature was, 14 degrees. We said the wind was 0504 knots. So pop that in here. And the transition level was 70. Yeah, so 70. So we just put 070. Pop that in there. And that gives an approach speed of 123 knots and a landing speed of 118 based on the current weights of the plane. The only thing we need to fill in now is our barrow or decision height. So it's in 2 stages. So you have barrow, which is in inches of mercury, and the radio, which is in meters. And yeah, pretty much the way of finding that. So if we head to the main page, over to the charts, onto Heathrow, to the start tab, we're looking for runway 09 left and the Cat 2, Cat 3 ILS chart. So this chart, let's go through it. So at the bottom here, pretty much is always where decision heights are. So you can see here the Cat 2 approach, which is what we're doing. So it has a radio altimeter of 100 feet or a barrow of 179. It makes no odds. It just depends whether it's using the radar radio frequency, or if it's just using the so the radio is a little bit more accurate. So we'll put the radio in, which is 100, and then this is where you can change the configuration from full. So we'll default for landing configuration of full flaps. If you're doing flaps 3, then you can change that there as well. So that's that pretty much done, and then we'll just keep an eye on that as we proceed along the route. Peach, what are we doing? Is it wing MCD and flap panel? Yes, it is. Pretty much, well, most of my products are wing, to be fair. Apart from, obviously, the radio panel, which isn't at the moment until wing release theirs, and the throttle isn't either. Say Bravo, Honey Bravo throttle. Yeah, the EFIS, the FCU, MCDU, and the joystick is wing. Hope that answers that for you. Have you had a good day then, Barry? Or has it been the usual sort of day? So, pretty much, where are we flying? Let's have a quick gander. So, you can pretty much work out where we're flying when you enable the terrain radar. So, this is the Island Man that we can see over on this patch to the right hand side. Straight ahead, so we're basically flying over the Lake District. That's Lakey, that's the Lake District, it's a waypoint for the Lake District. And the ETP point is basically your halfway point, or your point to between your arrival and departure route. You can actually change that though. That's not all, it doesn't always mean that. It's just typically on default that's what it means. It's how pilots basically work out where's the nearest airport to them, so if they need to divert, they know where they're going. Okay, so I bought the warning landing panel from LS3, fits the wing fine. Oh, cool stuff. Is that the this left hand side with the master warnings and auto land and all that sort of stuff? The chrono. I'm guessing that's the bit you're referring to, wasn't it? So London Control. Well, last time I checked, London Control was online. Okay. What's that? I've never seen that approach. Let's have a look. Approach. Don't even know what airport that is. Oh, it's RF Benson. Yeah, there we go. Didn't know RF Benson had a huge control zone like that. So we will be going, once we go sort of into London's airspace, we will end up, to be fair, we may end up going to this other approach airspace because it's covering that whole radius. Cool stuff. Do you know how much it was, PG? Was it expensive or was it not too bad? Because I must admit, I was hoping, so I've actually approached Wingwing about that panel because it seems a bit incomplete, doesn't it? Like they've sort of just missed a section out, which, to be honest, for my desk it would work perfectly. Yeah, they seem to have missed a bit of a section out with that. That's not too. That's fairly good for quite some stuff, I suppose, isn't it? It's not too bad. Considering they're probably all handmade as well, I would imagine, aren't they? Yeah. It's pretty good. The problem is I didn't want to. One of the reasons for me changing to Wingwing was because I didn't want loads of different softwares running in the background. That's the beauty of Wingwing. It all literally runs off one application rather than loads in the background. However, subject to that rule a little bit, I've ordered an overhead, which, well, God knows when it comes. It's coming from Thailand, so it's from VATSIM, so we will have to have some other software. But so I've ordered their large overhead, not the full size one. I couldn't be stupid to pay that sort of money for it. But I got quite a good discount in fairness. So I've been talking with VATSIM for quite a while about products, and it's on the understanding that we're going to do a review of it. Although I have paid for it, they gave me a little bit of a discount for doing a review when we get it. So that should be here. Well, I say it should be here. I don't know when it will be here. So it was meant to be manufactured on the 15th, which was Wednesday. Unfortunately, because of the Chinese holiday or something, it's been delayed a little bit by a week. But then it should be with DHL, and typically from Thailand with DHL it shouldn't take too long. Depends how long it takes to clear customs. Yeah, that's the thing with PG. To be fair, I only fly the Phoenix. That's all I fly. Especially now I've got a bit more of a setup. That is literally the only. This is the only. Well, I say it's the only aircraft that's not. We fly all the Phoenix products, but the 319 we do fly most of the time. To be fair. But I am looking forward to. So, I did debate. I've been debating about the wing throttle, and it looks really, really amazing. Though I've noticed two major flaws with it. One, it doesn't have a trim wheel, which my Honey Bravo does. Two, it doesn't have a landing gear lever built into it either, which I know realistically it doesn't have that. But then, effectively, then you've got to buy the other panel to get that. Which isn't a major problem, but obviously it's not been released yet. And then, like I said, the flaps and everything are fine. For the time being, I have actually pre-ordered it, but I've not paid for it. So I think I may hold off and wait for the radio panel to come out first. What's it going on about? So it's saying the approach path is too steep head, right? So once, let's descend this. Let's see where the restrictions are, does it? So let's look at the chart and just have a quick look at restrictions. Yeah, I've got the joystick as well, Peachy as well, mate. So let's just run through the chart, I think, because we'll get ourselves in a model. Do I use passenger add-ons? Yes, I do use passenger. So I use GSX Pro, which does all the ground handling. But I don't use any specific passenger add-ons, so like announcements and stuff. That is native with the Phoenix, but we do have a sound pack that's so it's a British Airways sound pack that's been created. I don't know why they called him Cameron Dix, but there we go. So let's have a good look at the chart for our arrival. So we're at Edinburgh to hotel arrival, which we can pretty much see from here. We just got the pencil, so we can see everything. So as you can see along here, we're going to be inbound at the minute. So Honolulu potentially is a holding point. That's a holding point for Birmingham though. So our first restriction is at Tobid, flight level 200. Then at Sopit, flight level 150. And then we reduced at, what was it, Weekso to 220 knots. And then once we enter Bovingdon, which I presume is where we'll go from there, we want to be at flight level 70, max speed 220 knots. Typically, ATC will probably tell us that anyway, but if ATC is not online, it's just happy to follow that just in case they do come online. So we'll have a good look at Tobid. So we want to be at flight level 200, which it's already got the restriction in there. Next restriction at Sopit is 150, which is also in the box. Next restriction on Weekso is a speed of 220, which we've got in the box. Then Bovingdon, which is the holding pattern. So if we need to hold there, we can obviously enable hold if need be. So 220 to 7,000. So Bovingdon, let's have a look at Bovingdon actually. I don't know if you can... Oh, maybe it's not a holding point Bovingdon. Let's have a look. I'm intrigued now. So that's Chester. Okay. So that's a holding pattern there. But normally you tend to hold at Bovingdon, to be fair. I've got a look at the chart. So Chilton is at the minute is what it's showing. But yeah, we may need to hold there, I don't know. Let's just have a quick look at the arrival tab. Sometimes it may be a different chart for the whole thing for Bovingdon, to be fair. Ah, here we go. 09 left and right, initial approach. So that's some begin. Oh, that's interesting. Ah, here you go. Initial approach from BVNM. Right, here we go. So if we need to hold at Bovingdon, this has got the hold restrictions here. So you'd enter it at 116 degrees, which will insert that. The minimum altitude is the maximum height altitude is 7,000 feet. And typically, because you're 7,000 feet, so if you're above flight level 120, it's 1.5 minutes. But if it's below that altitude, it's 1 minute, and then return basically. But we'll worry about that if we need to worry about that. At least we know where the chart is now. I might just star it just in case we do need to use it. So just star it, and that way it's there if we need it. So pretty much at the halfway point. Oh hello, let's have a look. I have the Honda Bravo with the A320 skin on it. Is that the, as in when you say an A320 skin, is that the ProDesk Sim throttles? Because that's what I used to be fair, as the ProDesk Sim throttles. Does it slow the sim down? What are you referring to slowing the sim down? Yeah, the Pro ones. Yeah, that's the same as what I've got probably. I did debate about getting the A350 one so I could use the 2, but stuck with. I don't find it massively slows the sim down. So there's a couple of things you can do to make it a little bit quicker, really. So I've enabled it with the settings. So one thing that affects performance massively is upon landing. So sometimes when you're coming into the land, GSX will start spawning in items, and that can cause stutters on approach, which is obviously not what you want when you're about to land. So I've actually disabled, well, I don't disable it as such. So I have gone into the config settings. I can't remember how you do it. It's something that I've learned from someone I googled. But basically you change the configuration file so that it doesn't automatically do that on landing. And basically as soon as you go into the GSX tab once you're on the ground, so at the minute it's not going to load anything so we're not on the ground, it will then start spawning and stuff in, which is obviously when the sim's going to be a little bit more stable. So hopefully that answers that a little bit. But yeah, I've not noticed a massive difference in my PC. It's fairly beefy, but it's not, the GPU on it's getting old, to be fair. But yeah, definitely have a look. I'll see if I can find it for you after this stream. If so, you followed us anyway, so I can always drop you a message. Cheers, Tom, for the follow. Cheers, Mohammed. Sure, I've pronounced your name. Welcome. So, guys, bear with me for a couple of minutes. Just going to quick toilet break. Just before we go in controlled airspace, because it's not very long before we go into controlled airspace. And then I will be back in a minute. Watch me fall out. With just on, yeah, it's a pretty cool setup to be fair. Didn't cost as much as you'd think it'd cost either. The pros of eBay, that's all I'm going to say. So, how many miles are we? 170 miles on touchdown. One thing we can do is have a quick look at the ATC, and we can also tune the next frequency, which I believe. So I run for Lanta on the left hand side. So we're overhead Manchester at the minute, hence why you can hear them talking about Manchester. So I think we're going to end up in this control zone. Yeah, I'm going to have a quick look because I've never seen that control zone come online. So there's much. Just going to have a quick look on that map. The VATSIM radar, just have a quick look. Just to see if we will be going with that. Maybe we do. Yeah, I think. Depends on what the restrictions it could be. It's only. Yeah, it's RF Benson approaching departure, so I'd very much be surprised. So we've got Benson. But we will be going to London Control at some point. But normally it gives you a strict flight restriction. We'll see what happens. We'll let the pop type us first. So ground is online at Heathrow, and approach is also online at Heathrow. Wonderful. But chances are we'll probably be going across to London Control, which is 135805. So we'll do a tune now. So 135. Go the other way. Excuse me. So that's that all tuned. Hopefully that is the right channel. If not, we'll find out. Yeah, Marcus, I'm doing. I don't know if it's here. Where was it? But yeah, cheers Tom for the suggestion. The compliments. Yeah, it's pretty cool. It'll be a little bit better once this overhead comes. To be fair, I think that'll make a quite nice feature to it. Like I say, it just depends how long it's going to take to come. I think it's going to be start of November. Well, it's at least going to be start of November, I think. But it's virtual custom made as well. So the large panel that JavaSim do, it has two custom buttons as well. So we have had
Manchester
them
traffic,
engraved.
Beaver 23 landing runway 23 right.
So we've had them engraved, and so we're having the isolation valve engraved on it, and we're also having the electric pump as well engraved, because that's the. I thought about what's sort of useful. Like there's some things that aren't really that useful every flight, so that's what I thought would be useful. So that's what I went with. But I guess you could have like GSX controls as well. I think that'd be pretty cool. Nick, how are we doing? We've had quite a few people on this evening, so we've had 7 follows. Baz is the top viewer, but he probably will win. It's just being nosy really, aren't you? See what we get up to. Another thing we need to look at is our, so once we land, how much brake do we need to stop? And the way to do that is to go into arrival performance, refresh the METARs. This is another way you can also look at the METAR to see if there are any changes. So 1027, 14 degrees Celsius, which is the same as it was. Speed, wind is 0604. Oh, and that was the sensor. Let's go over to the approach speed. 0604, so it's a little shit. So go back across here. Yeah, we can click apply to that. We're expecting 09 left. As far as we know, the runway condition is dry. And the only other fig we need is our landing weight, which we can get from the pilot brief. We go to the fuel and summary. We can look for it. Landing weight, here you go, 54, basically 54 tons. So you could probably put 54.1 to be fair, just round it up a little bit. So put 54.1 in the box, and then it's going to tell us how much runway we can use. To be fair, Heathrow is a huge airport. It's like the runway is like nearly 4,000 metres long. So 1,800 metres is our. So order brake low is perfectly suitable. So we need to start our descent now. So we want to descend for over 200 open descent. To be fair, we could actually go manage descent. So by manage, we push the button inwards, and that will then give that dot there, which basically puts it in a managed mode. Anything we've got to be careful with is because we're going to descend quite sharply for the time being, which is going to increase our speed. As you can see, the speed's coming up quite drastically. A couple ways you can counter this. Obviously, you can bring some spoilers out. Another way of doing this is you can also reduce the rate of descent. Typically, it will manage it quite well. It's because I was too busy talking, I forgot that we were at the point of descending. So it's not, like I say, it's not been long realistically before we were in the control zone. Just trying to see control zone as well. So it's not descent to 135, that's what we can see. But yeah, we should achieve that pretty much. So let's just bring up some charts as well for Heathrow, because I am not very good with Heathrow. Like I say, this is the first time I've landed into here, and as you can see, the waypoints are crazy. Probably the best thing for me to do is to, if we just jump into here, just zoom out, we'll zoom right in, and then you can see all the stand numbers as well. Probably what I will do is bring up the notepad, I think, just for the fact we've not been to Heathrow before, and the fact that there is like 60,000 different waypoints, taxi waypoints, and about 6,000 stands. So typically, we are normally at Terminal 5 for British Airways, so I would imagine we will be right down to the end, which is annoying because basically we've got a taxi the entire length of the airport, but we'll see how we go. We just have to be a little bit careful as well, because there are other waypoints as well. Yeah, Barry, alright. Is your mind blown, is it, already? Right, trying to see where these waypoints are. Might have been on this side, so. Yeah, they don't really give you many waypoints. They're not the right waypoints. Well, they are the right points, but there's some named ones as well. What we'll do is we'll bring the notepad though. Always have the notepad on hand, just in case. So, what are we at? 28,000. So it should be pretty much at level at that point. Flight level 200. So hopefully. Cheers for the follow. How's the little man, Barry? Is he alright? Obviously, if any of you want to keep following, you can of course head over to our YouTube channel as well. We do have a little bit more content on there with regards to, well, every stream's on there, and there is some additional content on there as well. We do also have Discord as well. Not really that active on Discord lately though, to be quite honest. As you see, this navigation display looks mental, but it should be okay. So we can see the initial restrictions flight level 200 here, so about it's about 30 miles. Well, exactly 25 miles. Soffit, I want to be flying 150, so basically we'll just continue to descend, and then first speed restrictions at so is it maybe? See how we go. Like I say, we may just scroll into Heathrow, I think. On London. So let's see if you can see these waypoints. I don't know if you can see them. Oh, you can. So as you can see, there's named waypoints as well as lettered waypoints, which make it a little bit more complicated. So you've got Pluto, Titan, I think as you go further down there's others as well, down this end. They're typically near the holding points as well. Rabbit, Snapper, Dingo, Cobra, there's loads of them. But I would imagine we'll probably vacate somewhere here, at Alpha 9 Whiskey, somewhere like that. Who knows? Heathrow approach is still online, so that's always a bonus. Like I say, in a minute now we should go over to London Control, hopefully. Oh no, London Centre's not online over there anymore. That's a shame. 19730. So then let's tune the next frequency there, which is going to be 119730. I think this gone offline. 119730. Yeah, you should have had a look Barry, wouldn't you? Where is it, mate? I don't know. All that a nosy. It'd be funny watching you try to set it up though. Takes me long enough to work it out. So where are we now? What are we? Right, we're 200. We've gone another 9 miles, so we should achieve that, no problem. What we'll do is we'll just continue our descent to 15,000. We'll keep it in managed mode as well. And then basically we'll just hit the next waypoint as we need to. Go for it. Hopefully we have a nice smooth landing. The last one, to be fair, wasn't too bad. A bit hit and miss though. So it looks like we've got some traffic in front of us. Pretty sure that's what I can see down there. Yeah, you can just see, I don't know, you guys might not be able to see it, but just see the tail end of it. Not on the radar though, but that could be because we have the PCAS set to above, so if we set it to below, we maybe we'll see it. So it's TO. Set it to below because so we're 79 miles for touchdown, we're at quite over 200 now, so we are in the restriction, no problem. So Heathrow Ground is also along as well, 12190. Do that once we've swapped over. Hey Lee, how we doing, mate? So we're streaming on multiple platforms again, Lee, so apologies if I don't catch it because it's slightly out of my field of vision. TikTok, with YouTube, sorry. Like I say, we'll leave this open now if we need the other charts. Cheers for the follow. Fair few of you on today, to be fair. I've had quite a few follows as well, which is was nice. And we even had a gift from someone as well, so thanks for the gift. I'm not sure who sent it. Thanks for the gift. It's only recently I didn't realise it equals money, so not great. Granted, not a lot of money, but some money. So yeah, we go towards new setup stuff. So, like I say, next restriction is socket, which is flight level 150, which we can see down here. And West Coast. And then the next waypoint, BNN, is Bovingdon. So, don't want to be long. It's really because it says Heathrow North approach, which is I found really strange because why is they just on Heathrow North? You'd think they would be on both. Oh, there you go. So that noise means we need to move over 11730. And we'll just fully tune the ground frequency as well, which is 121.
Good evening, Super 365 level 130.
514, further climb with Unicom 122.8.
Yeah, what the hell do?
Wasn't for 7
So, all we need to tell them now is
no,
what flight level we're descending to.
122.8, goodbye.
What do you want for the
Heathrow Direct, speedway 97s with the descending flight level 150 to West Suffolk.
360, speedway is different, get it.
Pretty sure he's just blocked me out with it.
Shuttle 9 Juliet, thanks, taxi right on Alpha, contact ground 121.905.
Director speedway 96 with the descending flight level 150.
Speedway 97, Heathrow Director, hello, descend flight level 80.
Descending flight level 80, speedway 90. So we'll go open climb 80. Sorry, open descent 80. Yeah, Pav, how are we doing, mate?
Speedway Concord 9035, Heathrow Director, hello.
So this is where the concentration will start coming in. So we're at 14,000 roughly. We'll get the seatbelt signs on. That's one last thing we need to worry about.
121, you've gone through the localizer, turn left, heading 0.
We'll also enable the landing system, so the LS button here will enable that.
050, so establish the one.
Speedway Concord 409 left, clear to land, wind 060 degrees, 4 knots.
09 left, clear to land,
Shuttle 3 Papa, speed
We'll enable autobrake low. Change the setup, mate.
Speed 809 kilo, turn right heading 070 degrees. When established, localise the descent glide path.
Right heading 070 degrees, when established, descend on the glide path, speedway is reconnected.
So speed's being reduced now to 220.
Clear India 121, descent altitude 2,500 feet, cleared ILS 09 left.
This is the primary 2,500 MSFS, Airbus.
Speed Concord 9035, taxi right Sierra, Tango, stand 409.
Right Sierra, Tango.
Hello, heading 120 degrees, and established localizer 09 left, descent glide path.
Left heading 120, descent glide path, runway 09 left. That's the problem.
This is the follow buzz. Thought you'd already followed, to be fair.
Heathrow Tower, hello, requesting taxi to runway 09 right, with run 3.
There's a 123 Heathrow director, hello, taxi link 53, hold at November Bravo 11.
Heathrow director, Lufthansa 2475, range check.
Taxi via link 53, holding point, say again with run 3.
Holding point November Bravo 11.
November Bravo 11 with run 3.
Spirit Concord 4, taxi left Bravo.
Left Bravo, Spirit 4.
Air India 121, runway 09 left, clear to land, wind 0.
Heathrow director, Lufthansa 2475, radio check.
Please remain here in the 121 left.
Spirit 36, pass your message.
We'll descend to 8,000. Do you want further descent from us?
So we'll enable
Spirit
the
36, hello, descent, flight level 70.
spoilers so they're ready.
290 degrees.
Left 290 and down 7,000. Speed 30.
So next checklist is approach checklist, which we can't do yet once we're at
Heathrow director, speed 028 stand 5.5, aircraft Airbus A320 with information Delta, QNH 10027, requesting I-502 Milan and files.
Roger, expected PDC. Spirit Concord 4, taxi right kilo and hold November 4 Echo.
Right kilo, hold November 4 Echo, Spirit 4.
There's a 12309 right clip takeoff, wind 060 degrees, 4 knots.
Clear to take off on 809 right, with
So dual runway operations in use, so
Free Papa, maintain
need
speed
to make sure we
180 knots.
choose the right one,
Slow
which
down
I'm sure we will do.
180 knots, 70 Papa.
Speed 809 kilo, speed 160 knots to 40 ME.
160 knots and 240 ME, speed with engine rank.
Heathrow director,
97, leave Bovington, heading 235.
taxi.
Speedbird 97, leave Bovington, heading 235.
Keep following 235, speed with that.
Heathrow director, hello, Speedbird 109.
So once we reach Bovington, which is what, how many miles? 5 miles.
Speedbird 109, Heathrow director, hello, right Bravo, hold Oster.
Right, Bravo, hold Foster.
So approaching 10,000, we'll get the landing lock on, so that's
Very good evening, approach. Speedbird 249 with you at stand 535. Information down from board, clearance of start from the ATC now.
Roger, expect PDC.
Waiting PDC, cheers, Speedbird 249.
Good evening, Heathrow Director, shuttle 6 Alpha, ready for push to start, stand 5.
So 2 miles now, that's indicated by Bovington here. So now we start at turn 235.
Shuttle 6 Alpha, push and start approved, face south.
2, 3,
Push to start, approved,
5.
shuttle 6 Alpha.
So heading 2, 3, 5. There's set.
Shuttle 3 Papa, speed 160 knots to 40 ME.
60 knots to 40 ME. Shuttle 3 Papa.
Speed 36, landing 09 left, descent altitude 4,000 feet, QNH 1027.
Stand 4,000, QNH 1027, speedbird 26.
Airbus A320, stand 5.5, request pushback.
Yeah, I'm all good, thank you.
The aircraft going for pushback, you cut out with your call sign, say again.
Airbus A320, stand 5.5, request pushback.
Again, you're not speaking your call sign, you need to hold your push talk, then say your call sign, not the other way around. So 109, taxi link 53, hold November Bravo 11. Speed 109, taxi link 53, hold at November Bravo 11.
53, hold Bravo 11, skipper 10.
Speed 97, landing 09 left, descend 5000, QNH 1027.
Landing 9 left, 75,000, QNH 1027.
Speed 809 kilo, go around, and say again, go around, acknowledge.
Go around, Spirit 809 kilo.
We should probably just double check actually
Goodbye,
the
028, stand 5.5, request push
missed
stop.
approach procedures just in
Speed
case
028,
it's happened.
book 6017.
Squawk 6017, speedbird 028.
Speed 36, turn right heading 360 degrees.
Go ahead, it's 360, speedbird 36.
So, Mr. Approach procedure, climb straight ahead to
You sent an aircraft around, taxi Lima,
1,580 feet.
Good night.
1,580.
69 Lima, 10-243, and 1212, good night.
Speed Concord 4 at November 4 Echo, cross runway 09 right, and then link
So that's the
43,
importance of
link
vacating
44,
the
Tango,
runway
7408.
quickly. So that other aircraft had to go around. As a result.
Here at November 4 Echo, and then link 44, link 43, Tango, and stand 408, speedbird 4.9.
Speed 36, turn right heading 060 degrees, when established localizer, descend glide path.
1060,
So we're going to reduce our speed again.
speedbird 36.
Speed 97, turn right heading 265, speed 180 knots.
Right, 265 and 180 knots. Speed with that.
Speed 809 kilo, turn left heading 320
So, right,
degrees,
265.
climb 4,000.
Reducing to
Left
180
heading
knots.
320
So
degrees.
brought a little bit of spoilers out, as you can see here.
Passing 149, descending 70.
So we get flaps 1 out.
With a 123, report you're passing altitude, climb down, flight level 180.
So approach checklist, Sparrow for 1027, seatbelts on minimums, 100 radio, engine base up to normal, and
Shuttle Papa 09 left, wind 060 degrees.
auto brake low.
Clear plan, Shuttle Papa. Wind 028 after the company, A321 Neo passes right to left behind, push and start approved, face south. Speedbird 028 after the company, A321 Neo passes right to left behind, push and start approved, face south.
Push and start approved, face south, speedbird 028.
Negative, it's after the company, A321 Neo passes right to left behind, so I don't know why you started your push, you need to stop it and taxi back into your stand. Speedbird 028, stop your push back and taxi back into your stand. The conditions for your pushback sets were not met.
Speedbird 028.
So 10909 right clear take off with 060 degrees, 4 knots. I guess there's one to go. Speed 97, turn left heading 120 degrees, descend 4000, when established localizer, descend glide path.
Left 120 degrees to 74,000, established, doesn't have a climb. Polished. Speedbird now, so.
Speed 955 Lima, descend
There we go.
flight level
So-
70 and leave begin heading 275.
Left 120, 74,000, approach armed, AP1, AP2.
75, speedbird 95.
Is there 123 further with Unicom, goodbye.
Unicom, goodbye, thank you. Please on street.
Shuttle 3 Papa, right on Alpha, link 57, stand 505.
Right on Alpha, link 57, and 505. Shuttle 3 Papa.
Speedbird 97, so I've already given you clearance, you can disregard that. Speed 36, speed 160 knots to 40 ME.
Speed 160 to 4, speed 36.
Speed 809 kilo, turn left heading 270 degrees.
Left heading 270 degrees, speed 809 kilo.
Cheers for the follows.
10909, right clear takeoff, wind 060 degrees, 4 knots.
Clear for takeoff, it's 109.
Shuttle 6 Alpha, ready for taxi.
Shuttle 6 Alpha, taxi, straight ahead.
So the glide slope's
Delta.
active and the localizer is established as well.
Shuttle 6 Alpha.
In a second, hopefully we'll get a bit of a
Alabama
view.
2475, request taxi.
52475, right Alpha, hold Hawker.
So Cat 3 dual is active. Just waiting to capture the glide slope.
955 Lima, negative.
Thank you, speed 559.
So, I've got a visual in a minute.
028, just so I make sure you've got the clearance. Once the company A321 is he's on your right, once he passes behind, then you can start your push.
So then hopefully we will pick up the localizer any second. That would be nice.
Good 809 kilo, turn left heading 250 degrees.
250.
There you go, lock start. So established now. And then established to descend, so glide slope's already active anyway.
Speed 57, push and start approved, face south.
Push start approved, face south, speed 57.
Speed 028, push and start approved, face south.
Push and start approved, face south, speedbird 028.
So we'll probably get a speed restriction of 160 until 4 DME shortly. And then we'll take over
6 Alpha,
manual
taxi
control
53,
and go
hold
from there.
November Bravo 11.
Taxi there, November Bravo 3, hold November Bravo 11. Shuttle 6 Alpha.
Speed 36, runway 09 left, clear to land, wind 060 degrees, 4 knots.
To land, 109 left, speed 36.
Speed 97, speed 160 knots or greater to 4 DME.
160 or greater till 4 speed 97. So we'll go 160.
So director, Speedbird 916 from...
Once we get to the 2,500 feet mark, we'll get the gear down. So we can actually bring out flaps 3,
Speedbird
but
916, hello, I've not
typically...
got a flight plan for you. If you could just double check that.
Apologies, sir. I was offline. I'll refine once again. Apologies, Speedbird 916.
So Robinson type, get gear down. So get on. Flaps 3.
Speed 34, Victor, Heathrow
flaps
director,
4.
hello, descent flight level 80.
So we'll disconnect once we've done the landing checklist at 2,000 and we'll fly from there.
Speedbird 109, report you're passing altitude. Climb now, flight level 180.
45,000 feet, climb flight level 180. Speedbird 109.
Speed 809 kilo, turn left heading 180 degrees, descent altitude 3,000.
2,500, wonderful.
180 degrees, 3,000 feet, speedbird 09.
For directors, Speedbird 916.
So should get our landing clearance shortly.
Back in south of 509, sir.
Speed 916, I've still got nothing for you. Just disconnect and reconnect, and hopefully it'll work then.
Apologies, sir. I will do.
2,000 feet will look at the landing checklist.
Response 2475, dismissed full car request for further instructions.
So up to 2475, taxi link 52 to hold November Bravo 11.
2,000 feet. So
Shuttle 6 Alpha 09 right.
landing
check
checklist,
off.
go around
060
altitude
degrees,
is
4 knots.
3,000 and it's set.
Let's take off runway 09 and right.
Cabin crew advising cabin is ready. You can remember landing level.
Heathrow director, good evening,
Landlord,
Singapore
heading
321, we have information. Echo on board, type 777-300 ER, request a 942 Singapore please.
Speed 34 Victor, leave Lamborn heading 265.
Lamborn heading 265, Scriven 340.
Speed 809 kilo, turn left heading 120 degrees. When established on the localizer, descend with a glide path.
120 degrees, when it's
So we'll disconnect for a second, we'll just get a clearance and we'll disconnect.
Speedbird 028 requesting taxi.
Speedbird 028, hold Dasso.
Hold Dasso, Speedbird 028.
Heathrow Director, Speedbird 916 once again, apologies sir.
Minimum approach speed.
Start from 509.
That's definitely not right, so
Speedbird 916, no worries. Push
Maybe the
fast,
approach.
start through, face south.
and there we go.
Seeing South approach, Speedbird 916.
Manual flight.
Speed 97, runway 09 left, clear to land, wind 06, 0 degrees, 4 knots.
Good land 09 right, left. Yeah, speed left.
Speed 109, further with Unicom, 122.8, goodbye.
So manual control now. That's where it all goes wrong. So a little bit left of the glide, aren't we? So let's bring that over a touch to the right.
Speedbird 57, ready taxi.
Speedbird 57, hold Vicas.
Roger, hold Vicas. 500.
Center 2475, line up 09 right. Center 2475, line up 09 right.
Land.
Line up 09 right, sorry about that, it's 2475.
397, 09 left, clear to land, wind 06, 0 degrees, 4 knots.
Left land 09 left. It's a speed of 97. Pretty sure he's already done that, but there we go.
Center 2475, 09 right, clear takeoff, wind 06, 0 degrees, 4 knots.
Roger, 09 right, clear to take off, 2475.
Speed 028, taxi link 53, hold November Bravo, 11.
Taxi link 53, hold November 1.
Minimum.
Speedbird 028.
Speedbird Diner 55, Lima 2, 9 miles to touchdown, landing on 09 left. Descent altitude 4,000 feet, QNH 1027.
Read down.
4,000 feet, QNH 127, land up Speedbird 9557.
Right, spoilers,
Shuttle
reverse
6 Alpha,
green.
report your passing altitude.
Great, no detail.
Shuttle 6 Alpha passing 2,300 feet.
Shuttle 6 Alpha, turn left, heading 340 degrees, climb flight level 140.
340 degrees, Papa over 140, Shuttle 6 Alpha.
Manual braking. Safety knots. We want to vacate, so we need to just wait till the next two. So Alpha 8 we'll go with. Not too bad for my first time into Heathrow, I suppose.
Speed 028, 09 right, clear takeoff, wind 06, 0 degrees, 4 knots. Speedbird 028, 09 right, clear takeoff, wind 06, 0 degrees, 4 knots.
Clear for takeoff, Speedbird 028.
297, taxi right, Alpha, link 57, stand 503.
Taxi right on Alpha, link 57 and sub 50.
Speed 809 kilo, 09 left, clear to land, wind
So,
06,
right
0
turn here.
degrees, 4 knots.
Clear to land.
After landing, radar predicting
955 Lima,
system
turn right, heading
off after landing
36,
complete.
0 degrees, descent altitude
Get rid of the
3,000
spoiler for
feet.
blocks.
Right 360, descent 3,000 feet, Speedbird 95 Lima.
Shuttle 6 Alpha, resume air navigation, direct Buzzard.
On navigation, direct Buzzard, Shuttle 6 Alpha.
So what we'll do is we will just step what terminal wants, so we're at 25A, so 503. Don't need to follow me. Just report that. We'll have a look to see what the landing rate was like, but see how we go. It wasn't my best landing, but considering it's the first time I've been in Heathrow, it wasn't too
Echo at
horrific.
552.
First speed 57, taxi link 53, hold November Bravo 11.
So we need to work out where link 57 is. don't we?
Bravo 11,
Speedbird 177, stand 552, push and start approved, face south.
Face south, Speedbird 177, thank you. For direct, Speedbird 916, ready to take.
Speedbird 916, hold Dasso.
Hold that, Speedbird.
Spirit 955 Lima, turn right heading 060 degrees. When established, localizer, descend with the glide path.
Right, 060, when established localizer, descend with the
Sun
glide
landed.
path. 955 Lima.
Shuttle 6 Alpha, further with Unicom 122.8, goodbye.
Oh, Unicom 122.8, thank you very much. Shuttle 6 Alpha.
Spirit 34 Victor, descend, flight level 70.
770, Spirit 34 Victor.
Speedbird 028, report your passing altitude.
So we're right down the bottom really, so it's on
2000.
503.
Flight level 2002, 6000. Speedbird 028.
Spirit 028, thanks, climb now, flight level 180.
Climb now, flight level 180, Speedbird 028.
Heathrow approach, hello, Singapore 305, stand 237, start 777-300, requesting push and start.
Singapore
Slow ourselves down a
305,
touch.
Heathrow director, hello, push and start approved, face south.
Push and start approved, facing south, Singapore 305.
I think this is Terminal 5 we're just approaching here that we can see on the left hand side. Pretty much British Airways
Speedbird
is
6, question, Spirit 916. Taxi link 53, hold November Bravo 11 behind the company A350.
Link 53 and November Bravo 11 behind the company. Speedbird 96.
Spirit 809 Kilo, right Alpha, Yankee, stand 523, good night.
So we're up to 503. See
Spirit
what's
809
on there. So
Kilo,
it's going to be a jetway.
Spirit 809 Kilo, right Alpha, Yankee, stand 523.
Right Alpha Yankee, stand 523, Spirit 809 Kilo.
Just leave for
Fly 7, runway
so-
09 right, clear takeoff, wind 060 degrees, 4 knots.
09 right, clear takeoff. Speedbird 57.
Certainly gives you a bit more of a challenge flying from
Spirit
Heathrow. that's for sure.
955 Lima, 09 left, clear to land.
That's
wind
501,
060
we're off to
degrees, 4 knots.
503.
Triple left, line left, Speedbird 955 Lima.
That's the next one, I think. So we'll kill the taxi lights for the minute.
Spirit 916 behind the departing company A350. Line up runway 09 right behind.
Line up 09 right behind the company British Airways, Speedbird 916.
So A319 is on the board. It'll slow ourselves down.
Speedbird 028 further with Unicom 122.8, goodbye.
Switching to Unicom, Speedbird 028, goodbye.
5 meters.
Station Heathrow director will be back in 1 minute.
Vibrate set. Stop. So post 2 minutes for pull down. APU is on and available. So we did that after London. So engine master 2 and 1 off. Give it a second to spool down a little bit. But then we'll get rid of the rest of the lights. So beacon come off. Let's come off now. External powers available, and we'll disconnect the APU and let's see what size we can come off as well. So then we'll request boarding. Jetway will now come into position, which it's doing. So then I get the right checklist. So parking checklist, chocks are set, engines off, wing lights off, the fuel pumps are off. Parking checklist complete. So that's pretty much it in terms of everything else. So yeah, thanks for joining us this evening. We will do the securing aircraft checklist shortly.
Heathrow director, Singapore.
Please take care as you leave us and ensure that you take all of your personal belongings with you. Once you've left the aircraft, please follow the directions of our ground staff colleagues.
So let's have a quick review of flight a minute, just see what the stats were. I don't think the landing rate is going to be great. Oh, it's not too bad actually. 228 feet per minute, so it wasn't too bad. It felt a little bit worse than that, to be honest. So not too bad really. But we're on the ground, which is the most important thing. So this is Inbuilt Heathrow, for those of you who are wondering about the scenery that we use here. Yes, this is Inbuilt Heathrow Premium Edition, and it's pretty good, to be fair. It's pretty cool, really. Like I say, passengers are getting off now. So this is GSX. It's in action with all the cones and obviously unloading bags and things like that. That is all part of GSX, and you'll probably see if you look through the windows. Yeah, you'll see a few people getting off. So we go. So yeah, we'll let everyone get off. We'll do the full, like I say, we'll follow it all the way through. We'll do the whole night, mate. Thanks for watching. I didn't expect you to watch as much as you have, to be fair, but better play, buddy. So just waiting for the rest of the passengers to get off, which, well, I can see there. There we can have a stand and have a walk. There is some issues with GSX at the minute. For some reason, I don't know why it's doing it like this, but for some reason it seems to be messing about a bit. Like I said, it's not really. It's quite nice having a walk along the cabin. To be fair, they're pretty cool, the new cabins. We'll also have a walk around that side while we're waiting for them to get off. And they're still spinning in the wind. Like I say, with the Phoenix, it's all pretty good, to be fair. There's so much stuff that you can do from the ground, so I could actually disconnect the whole ground power unit from here as well. What other features does the Phoenix have? So it's that realistic, even the park and brake lights on. So if the park and brake's disengaged, that's also lights up as well. But yeah, it's a pretty cool plane, really. I'm quite enjoying actually flying the Speedbird planes, the British Airways planes, to be honest. And they have pretty much every variant of the Phoenix as well, which is quite handy. Yeah, let's jump back in the cockpit anyway. Just do the last couple of bits before everything else is done. So to be fair, we can pretty much turn everything off. Apart from the only thing we can't turn off at the minute is the emergency exit lights. We'll have to leave them on. But we can turn all the ADIRs off so they can go to the off position. Crew supply of oxygen, that can also disappear. Isolation valve, we'll put that back to how it was. So all the lights are off. Shouldn't take too long for them all to get off, to be fair. Let's have a look. It tells you how many getting the mass and balance, so 77, so there's still quite a few. And like I say, they're getting the oh, I think they've got all the luggage off actually. Let's have a look. There we go. Yeah, how we doing, buddy? Apologies if you've missed most of it, but yeah, feel free to check out our YouTube and then you can see a little bit more. So what we'll do, because it's going to take forever for them all to disembark, we will just turn the aircraft off. So the emergency lights can come off and the no smoking signs can also come off. And if you really want to, we can disconnect the external power as well and just stay on the batteries for the time being. So securing the aircraft checklist, oxygen is off, emergency exits lights off, EFBs, we can turn them off, to be fair. There we go. That's the EFB off. And batteries can also come off. That'll be the last thing that comes off, really. So the batteries are just up here above. And pretty much everything will go dark and cold. So thank you very much for joining us on today's flight in the A319. It's been much appreciated for you watching. Not too bad, hour 44 of me gassing, so not too bad. Considering we've gone through pretty much the whole setup as well, that's pretty cool. But no, thank you for joining us. We'll be doing another flight tomorrow evening. Not sure where, so if you've got any suggestions, feel free to make the suggestions for us. And in the meantime, enjoy the rest of you, and we'll speak to you again another day nightly. Take care, mate. See you later, Buzzer. And all the rest of you that followed, thank you very much. And we'll see you again shortly. Bye for now.